Most people overcomplicate phone flipping. They try 5 different sourcing methods. They work with 20 different buyers. They list phones on eBay. They list phones on OfferUp, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. And then they see someone making money with auctions, so they go and try that too. And then they start repairing phones, and then they start flipping Samsungs on top of that. And soon enough, they're overwhelmed, and that's why the majority of phone flippers stay broke, is because they put a bunch of different eggs in every single basket possible. So what I want to show you today is the first strategy that actually made me consistent money, the one that helped me make my first $100,000 in profit. It's simple, it's easy to understand, and I'm not going to waste your time with any fluff, so let's get right into it. Before I break it down, there's some things you need to understand. Phone flipping is not complicated, it's not too saturated, and you don't need thousands of dollars to start. All you need to do is just master the basics. This business is extremely simple, and I kind of like to compare phone flipping to basketball. Now, hear me out. I know it might sound like retarded, but in a way, it kind of relates to it. So, in order to get into the NBA or to be max stats super good at any sort of skill, you just need to be insanely good at the fundamentals. So if we think about basketball, like what do you have to be good? What do you have to have in order to be successful and go to the NBA? You need to have really good basketball IQ. You need to have, you need to be really good at like passing the ball. You need to be really good at shooting. You need to be really good at dribbling. Those are just 4 freaking skills you need in order to master, to be able to get to the high level. Now, obviously, there's a difference between LA Fitness hoopers who know how to shoot and have subpar basketball IQ, know how to dribble and shit like that, compared to the people that are in the NBA who are obviously far better at those base fundamentals, okay? The people in the NBA are doing the same shit just at a far better level, and it's the exact same thing in phone flipping. It's just the same shit, same fundamentals, just people are doing it at a higher level. So phone flipping literally works the exact same way. It's even simpler. You only need 3 fundamentals to master. That's literally all you need. You just need 3 fundamentals to master. Number 1 would be sourcing your phones. Number one is your sourcing strategy. Number 2 is negotiation, and number 2 is Number 1 is your sourcing strategy. Number 2 is your negotiation, and number 3 is your selling strategy. And when I stopped trying every single strategy under the sun and locked in on these 3 fundamentals, that's when everything changed. I went from barely making a couple $1,000s a month, like literally struggling with this shit, to making consistent 5-figure profit months. So now with that being said, let's jump into the exact strategy of what I'm currently doing. So first things first, let's start with the first fundamental, which is sourcing phones. Because if you don't have people bringing you phones every day, you don't even have a business. And the mistake that most phone flippers make here is chasing sellers instead of flipping the script and making sellers chase them. So I'll get into exactly what I mean by that. So, I mean, if you think about it, the average person who needs quick cash, they don't want to spend time listing their phone on Facebook Marketplace or spending hours messaging back and forth with 10 different buyers or checking what their phone is worth on eBay or waiting for an auction to end, like all that bullshit. They just want convenience, right? Sellers just want convenience. They want speed, and that's why ads work so well. When you run a simple paid ad, you're not just finding random people. You're targeting the exact person who literally woke up this morning and they're stressed about rent, or they're stressed about a bill, or needing quick money for whatever reason, or just someone who just upgraded their phone and wants to get rid of their old phone for some extra cash, right? And they see your ad, that type of person, they see your ad over and over and over again, and you become the obvious choice of who to sell their phone to. And that's why sourcing is all about positioning yourself as the solution, not just picking up the scraps on Facebook Marketplace where you compete with all the other sellers. Like, this is literally what it looks like. This is literally what it looks like when you're competing against other sellers. You're just another one of those guys who's reaching out and lowballing someone. So sourcing phones isn't about, sending 30 DMs a day or 50 DMs a day. It's about building a system where sellers come to you daily. And once you have that flow, the next fundamental kicks in, which is negotiation, because getting leads is one thing, but turning those leads into profit is where most people actually mess up. Now, here's the thing with negotiation. it really, really, really ties into your sourcing strategy, right? All these three things go together. It really ties into your sourcing strategy because the more leverage you have, the easier it is to negotiate and get someone to agree to your terms. This is a big reason why phone flippers stay broke. A lot of it is because you have no leverage. When you're just DMing people all day and lowballing people on Facebook Marketplace, just like this illustration right here, you're just another dude lowballing, right? You have zero leverage. So no matter how good you are at negotiating, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to close that deal because the customer is not in any sort of pain. They don't need fast cash. They have 10 other people that want to buy their phone. They don't care about your lowball offer, right? So you can have the best negotiation ever, but if all your leads are coming from cold outreach, you're not going to be making a lot of money, and especially any consistent money, because really most of the people that you do actually close, it's kind of just out of luck. So the only way for your negotiation to be effective is if you have leverage, which this is leverage. If you are bringing out your message and you're running a Facebook ad and an Instagram ad that lets people know you buy phones, you can meet today, you could pay cash, people will start to flood in and sell you their phone, and you're just this one dude and a bunch of people are messaging you to sell you their phone. That is leverage. This is exactly what leverage looks like, because, all right, this many people reach out to you, and then these are the amount of people that agree to your price. These are the people, these are the amount of people, let's say only these people agreed to your price, right? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 people agreed to your price that day. That's still $400 in profit if you make $100 profit off each of their phone. That is leverage right there. That is exactly what leverage is. So that's point one, which a lot of you guys are in that bucket, right? Where you guys have no leverage at all. Now, I know some of you guys are watching this and you're like, well, I am running ads, but I still can't close deals. Well, let me tell you and actually show you exactly why you're not closing deals and actually how I fixed this problem for myself. So if your ad looks something like this, that's exactly why you're not closing deals. If your ad looks anything like this is exactly why you're not closing deals. Right? And some of you guys who are arrogant might be saying, oh, my ad doesn't look exactly like that. It actually says, we buy phones. It actually says cash for phones. It actually says shut the fuck up, right? It's all the same shit. If you're running a picture ad that looks anything like this with cash and a phone, this is exactly why you're not making the amount of money that you want to make. And I'm not saying this to beat on you or anything, because I've done this myself and I still see people doing this, and this is why you're not making money. Because if your ad looks anything like this, you're probably not closing many deals, mainly because you're attracting shitty quality leads and it's a super broad ad. It looks sketchy, and every single phone flipper that is running ads, they look like this, right? Nobody's going against the grain and doing something different. So everybody looks the same. So if you stand out, you're obviously going to make more money than the rest of people. So the reason why you can't close your deals or you're not making good money and you are running ads is because your ads look like this. Again, attracts shitty quality leads. It's a super broad ad and it looks sketchy as fuck. It looks sketchy, right? When I was running picture ads, like generic ads like these, and I know some of you guys, I got them from a course, right? I bought a course and I got ads just like this, and I was told to run these ads at $20 a day and you'll get a shit ton of leads. Yep, never worked, right? So anyway, back to what I was saying. When I was running these ads, I would literally get people message me and say, are you real? Is this a scam? And like, clearly, obviously, like that should just show you, okay, I should probably switch up my ad, right? So when I fixed this, literally everything changed and I started getting sellers who needed to sell their phone and were ready to take my cash offer today. And suddenly negotiation became 10 times easier when I just switched up my ad. When I was running these generic picture ads, like I just told you, I was actually running these. This is what it looked like. My cost per message was literally through the roof. $6.50 cost per message, $12.38 cost per message, $7.28 cost per message. Like, that is insane. I was closing literally no deals from this. I was literally burning my money, right? And I learned this from a course. I wasn't just going balls to the, like, blindly. I wasn't going into this blindly. I was doing exactly what these courses were teaching me to do, and it still didn't work, right? So I had some sort of guidance. It's just the picture ad that doesn't work. It's just the generic ad that everybody else is running, the generic pictures that everybody else is running that wasn't working, right? So once I actually fixed this, it became 10 times easier, and this is what my calls per message started looking like. These are my students' ads right here. Like they're using the exact same script as me, the exact same ad copy, the exact same creative. Everything is the exact same. So it hasn't only worked for me, but it's literally worked for all of the other students that I'm working with. So it is replicatable, and it works for everyone else and not just me. So clearly it's obviously working well. Like $1.56 calls per message, $1.27, 50 cents calls per message, $2.54, $2.20, and they're getting a shit ton of messages, and they're closing a shit ton of people from this just because they switched their ad up. It's pretty niche, it's not sketchy at all, and they're actually able to close most of the people that reach out to them. And that enables you to have days like this. And yes, this isn't even me. These are the students that I'm working with that I've helped implement this ad system into their phone flipping business. And these are some days that they've had. Like, you get a shit ton of phones if you just run the right ad and you run it the right way. Like, this was like a 3K day for one of my students. This was like another 2K day. This was one of my students the other day who made 3K profit in 3 days. And this is from like, all of this is from having the right ad system down, right? That's literally all it is. Now, I can't break down my entire step-by-step ad system here because it literally took me months of testing and thousands of dollars in ad spend to figure this out for myself. But if you want me to, I'll personally show you how to set this up step by step. I put a link in the description to book in a one-on-one call with me. And if we're a good fit to work together, I'll walk you through the exact ads I use, exactly how I set them up, so you could start attracting quality leads who actually close for yourself. So you could actually end up adding a couple extra $1,000 a month in profit to your phone flipping business just from these ads. So if you want that, you could book in a one-on-one call. But I wanted to point this out because I see a lot of people running the same type of ads, the same type of generic shitty ads. And a lot of you guys aren't even aware that you have that problem. A lot of you guys aren't even aware that that is a big problem, right? A lot of people I hop on calls with, they're like, oh, I need overseas buyers, or I just need better negotiation scripts, or I just need to live in a better area, right? I'm not in a great area and shit like that. But no, 80% of your problem on why you're not making anywhere near $10,000 a month in profit is that you have the wrong sourcing strategy. So you're not able to source multiple phones per day. That's your problem. It's not your buyer's pricing. It's not your location. It's not any of the bullshit excuses that you make for yourself. It's your marketing the wrong way. A lot of people try to diagnose themselves with a problem, and they don't know what the actual problem is. So many people I hop on calls with every single day, and they're like, oh, yeah, man, I just need overseas buyers. Like, if my buyer just had better pricing, I'd probably be making $15K a month. No, bro. Like, bro, you fucking source 3 phones a week. Who gives a shit about if your buyer had $100 extra, it paid you $100 extra, bro? You're getting fucking 5 phones a week, dog. Like, fix up your sourcing strategy. And once you fix your sourcing strategy, that's when you'll be able to make a shit ton of money. So stop making your bullshit excuses for yourself and saying, oh, yeah, I just live in a bad area, or, oh, yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. Like, you guys are feeling sorry for yourself, and you guys make these bullshit-ass excuses for yourself when it's not that. And I know it's not that because I've done it for myself, and I've done it for literally hundreds of other people. I know what to do. I know what your problem is, and I know how to fix it. I hear the same shit every day, right? So I'm not saying this to, like, get on, I am saying it to get on your ass, but really, it's because it's so simple. It's so simple. As long as you have the right system in place, it is so simple. It's just because I hear the same shit every day. I'm tired of hearing it because people just make excuses and excuses for themselves when it's not that. And I understand because I was literally in that same boat. I was in that same boat at one point, right? So that's that. I mean, if you are marketing the right way, here's some tips for you for negotiating that I could give you. Is number one would just be never overload people with questions. If somebody reaches out to you, your first response should be, how much do you want for it, right? If someone reaches out to you with, hey, I have an iPhone 13, your only question should be, how much do you want for it? It shouldn't be, what's the battery health? What's the condition? What's the IMEI? Don't ask all those questions, right? Your only question should be, how much do you want for it? And if someone is asking for a crazy price, you always have to justify that price. And this is how I get away without asking any questions at all. Is, let's say someone reaches out to me and they have an iPhone 13 and they want $600 for it. I'll just say, okay, I assume it's an iPhone 13. I assume it's 1 terabyte, and I assume it's brand new, sealed in the box, and it's paid off, right? And that's when you will get everybody to spit out what their phone actually is without asking any questions, right? So if you say that, you're trying to justify their price. So if they want $600 for the iPhone 13, you could say, okay, well, I'm assuming it's brand new, sealed in the box. I'm assuming it's unlocked. And maybe you could just say, like, I'm assuming it's an iPhone 13 Pro Max too, right? Or whatever, right? You get what I'm trying to say. And from there, without asking any questions, they'll blabber exactly everything what their iPhone 13 is. So they'll be like, oh no, it's actually not sealed in the box. It is blah, 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 blah. Or, oh no, it's actually not unlocked. I'm still making payments on it. And also it's cracked on the back. And also, like, they'll tell you everything you need to know without you asking any questions. Number 3 is your leverage is quick cash. So use that. Your leverage is quick cash, and you could give that cash today. That's your leverage right there. So that's that. And lastly is your selling strategy. If you're still selling phones on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or eBay, you're doing it wrong. You need a private buyer. Now, I know some of you guys know or even use Atlas Mobile, and I honestly wouldn't recommend them. I've dealt with them myself, but I would recommend an individual buyer, only because when you're dealing with a big, like one of those big companies like Atlas, I've dealt with Atlas and also a couple other big phone buying companies, but when you deal with a big company like that, they could deduct whatever they want without, you don't know what you're getting even deducted for sometimes. They could deduct whatever they want. You have no control over that. And sometimes you don't even know why. You have no clue why you got deducted. And they have slow payout speeds. So unless you've been doing business with them for years, you're not a priority at all. They're going to pay you whatever the fuck they want to pay you, right? So overall, it's just a slow process. You get slow payouts and everything like that. So when you're dealing with a big company, you're not a priority at all. And it's just a very slow process, which kind of defeats the whole point of a private buyer. So you want to have a buyer who pays you quick, has good pricing, and someone who you could text back and forth with, like you're a priority, and you could get personal with them. Not personal as in like fucking talk about life and shit, but like you could ask them questions, you could ask them for tips or whatever it is, right? Like my buyer, if I'm at a meetup and I'm confused, I'll text my buyer and ask them, hey, like, is this grade C? Is this grade B? Is this grade D? You can't do that with Atlas Mobile. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that with a big company. So if you want to make any type of real and consistent money with this business, you need a private buyer. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. You need one. And I mean, I just found mine by marketing myself all over, and eventually they will just reach out to you and eventually find you. So it literally all ties in together. Like I said at the start, it literally all ties in together, because as long as you're marketing yourself the right way, and you're marketing yourself all over, and your message that you buy phones gets out there, people will reach out to you, right? So it all ties in together, and as long as you're marketing yourself the right way every single day, a buyer will eventually come along and, start to buy phones from you, as long as your name gets out there and everything. So that's personally how I found mine. If you guys want my personal one-on-one help with any of this, and scaling your phone flipping business, and you want help implementing my strategy that I just went over into your personal business, again, I'll leave a link in the description, and you could book in a one-on-one call with me, and I'll help you out, give you access to my personal private buyers that I use, my ad system, my negotiation system, and just everything that I use overall. So if you do want my personal mentorship with all of this that we went over, and you actually want to add a couple extra $1,000 a month to your phone flipping business, then you could click that link. And I hope this video provided some value to you guys, so to kind of show you what you're doing wrong or what to avoid when just starting out. So yeah, I hope this video provides some value to you, and I'll see you boys in the next video.